What's going on, my kings and queens? It's APOC, your favorite host and Jellasator, and welcome to the channel. And today we got Janell finally on the channel. How's it going?
Hello. Hi, good.
This has been a few months coming, but you wanted to take a little social media pause for a little bit.
Yes. I took a mental break.
Hey, we all need it sometimes, you know. But anyways, so a few months back, obviously there was the drama with Jess where, you know, you had said some things on your channel where basically you felt left behind or replaced, and that was basically it. There was nothing bad about the video at all. Jess took that and it triggered her like hardcore, and she did what JessFam does best, is go when there's drama, she'll go on her Instagram live, and what does she do? She drags people or whoever, just like she did with those teenage girls, you know?
Right. Yep.
And that's what she did with you. And man, I would say there was not like an even playing field here, man. Like the differences between what you guys were saying is just wow. She could have said something, and you know, even as a response to you, but just in such a different manner. But she didn't do that, man.
Totally could have.
So we were planning this for a while, and it was actually supposed to be more like a interview type video. But to me, those videos are kind of like boring, and I want it to be a little more fun. So today we are going to break down this video, which is that live of Jess dragging you, Janell, and we will be just breaking that down commentary style, and you can answer any questions that kind of pop up.
A toxic lifestyle that didn't align, which is fine. And
what does she mean by toxic lifestyle?
Toxic lifestyle. I'm assuming today, you know, if you asked me any of these questions, then I probably would have. I've had time to like see, you know, more. I'm just assuming she means because I smoked cigarettes, I smoked weed, I had a toxic lifestyle. Is that what she took from it? I don't know.
That's what I think she meant, because
I mean,
I think she kind of implies that later too.
Yeah, right. Toxic lifestyle that I lived for the last, you know, 10 years of knowing her. But, you know,
maybe you just were no longer useful to her or something. Maybe that's what it that's what it seems like.
That's exactly what it ended up to be, because she moved far. She moved, you know, to Elk Grove, and you know, why do you need me?
Yeah, especially with Talia moving down.
I think that she felt replaced, which I'm gonna say something, and I hope that the right people see this. People tried to say, because she posted something about being replaced, and people
said the right people. I hope the right people.
Oh yeah, the right people was like, I don't even know what that meant.
Yeah, go on about Roslyn.
Oh, it's Talia. It was not Talia. It was with Roslyn. So I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, Janell, get it right. It was Roslyn, not Talia. God, it makes it so much better, doesn't it? I love that she says this, acting like it is better that you were replaced by Roslyn or than Talia. What does that matter? It doesn't matter. The point is that you felt replaced by someone.
Right. The point is she is confirming what I already said. I was replaced. All you have to say is she's correct. She was replaced.
I mean, she did kind of confirm it, but she did it in Mean Girl, Regina George fashion.
Exactly. She's just confirming that I was correct, because that is what I said.
She had some things going on, and again, I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to do any of that. But if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But
I'm not sure what
that's all she did in this video was like name names and then go on about this drama. She does this for like, I think 5 or 10 minutes, where she says she's not going to say anything, but while saying stuff and not going to name names while naming people, but she just does it the entire time. I think like 5 or like 10 minutes and she claims that she's like, I'm just going to end it here, but there's like 20 more minutes. Yeah, you know, there's like 20 minutes of
whole thing earlier, and
I saw it on your post. Yeah.
What the hell? There was literally 20 minutes left. I know exactly what part you're talking about. Yeah.
And I tried to be there for her, and she got involved with someone who was a deadbeat dad and made very poor life choices, and I was like the #1 person.
Okay, so is that true? Was she the #1 person when you needed it, you know, right there? No.
Not at all. She didn't like this guy.
Is that the dad of your baby daddy?
No. Baby daddy is not an issue. We're golden, you know. We don't bash baby daddies. You know, we don't do that.
Oh, so when she says that he's a deadbeat dad, that means to his own children.
She's talking about a friend of mine.
Okay. Oh, get involved. Yeah. So it's not like a boyfriend thing, like a friend.
Right.
Okay.
Friend, you know, we had our thing, whatever. She didn't like him because, you know, he's a little narcissistic, whatever. But we were best
well,
friends.
Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
They didn't like each other, honestly. They well, you know, didn't like each other.
It's funny because narcissists, either they get along just great, because there's like narcissists can attach to other narcissists and they just feed off each other. But then there's narcissists that are like malignant narcissists, and those type of people hate each other. Maybe something was going on there.
Yeah, they're both like, they just, for, you know, reasons. Like, he didn't like, my friend didn't like them because of like the threesome ordeals and stuff. And then she didn't like him because I started going to San Francisco more, I guess. And, you know, yeah, he didn't make great life choices and whatnot, but I'm not going to sit here and judge him and do this, that, and the other when I'm literally beside him watching him, you know, do better for himself.
Right.
So, you know, let's not call someone a deadbeat dad when, you know, your husband left his children, like, you know, for like 6 or 7 hours away just to be with your kids. He didn't help you with your kids or whatever.
So which she uses for content too, by the way. Like, so
which she uses for content.
She uses the like custody stuff and the divorce stuff or whatever for content and for money. She's using it to her benefit. So why you know, shitting on somebody else? Vloggers do this whole thing about how, like, you know, we're all human and people make mistakes. Okay, then why are you throwing shade like this at other people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're all human, right? We all make mistakes. Why is that mentality only applied to them when they mess up or they make a mistake? But whenever one, you know, someone like me or you or your friend or whoever, when they make mistakes, they just get hell for it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's because these people don't want to be held accountable.
Yeah, no, them two just didn't get along. And ultimately, this guy that she is talking about, I spoke with him recently and I was just telling him like about this whole situation. And I was like, I don't think you realize that, like, I believe you like came into my life to get me out of that. Because he saw that I was in this like bubble and he's like, you need to get out of this bubble. And I was like, I'm happy in my bubble. I'm fine here. And you know, now today he's like, I literally told you so, you know? So it's like,
yeah. Well, you know, when you're comfortable in something, you might not see it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I tell him, I like thank him for, you know, just opening my eyes. Because had he not taken me from this, like, you know, it just like,
and maybe that's truly why
he's
Jess
not
didn't like
as
him.
Negative. Yeah, he's not as negative as she's gonna paint him out to be because we have like a strong connection and whatever. So
from what I'd noticed from types or narcissists like Jess is that when they see people who can sniff out their bullshit, they don't want to deal with them. They'll do this stuff where she
which is why she's surrounded by cowardly people.
And yes men.
Everyone around her is just cowardly. Like it's just bizarre to me.
I can't imagine how much of a coward Chris is in real life.
Oh, he is. Yeah, no. He's nothing to brag about, honestly. So
yeah, not much of a flex. Yeah, well, Jess's life is so glamorous.
I was going through shit. It's like I got receipts.
But she's not gonna show them.
There was like a specific time where I was driving to her house in Elk Grove because I was having just like, I really needed to talk to her because that was my go-to person. And I'm like halfway to Elk Grove and she just goes like, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleep. And so I'm like, oh, well, can you talk to me on the phone? Because I really want to talk to you about this. Because, you know, you'll have like one person you really go to about it. She was just my person that I talked to about everything. And then it was like, she was getting sick of it. And I'm like, you don't do that to your friend. Like, you don't.
No. Well, especially when you claim you're there for him.
Right. No, she was not there for me by any means. You know, she maybe tried to be, and she'll say other stuff later that
she didn't lose me. She lost everyone in her life. And I think that says a lot more about her than it does.
No, especially because it's all about like context. So you want to elaborate on that?
So for people that like followed me on Instagram, I know that I would get I would post like emotional things, you know, because I was going through it, but unfortunately, I didn't feel like I was able to use my voice to speak about what was going on, especially in this situation. I didn't feel like I could talk about it. So I would post a lot of just quotes and sayings that are just things that just resonated with how I feel. I would post things about not having people because I was going through a lot of emotional stuff with not just her, not just my guy friend, but like
But life
everyone in
and
my
stuff.
life at
Yeah.
the same time. Me and my sister stopped talking for a long time. Me and my mom didn't talk for a little bit. Always stayed in contact with my daughter. So I don't know why she says that I lost my daughter when that's not the case at all. So she's pretty much rubbing it in my face like you have nobody. You
Right.
lost everybody. When in reality is I removed myself from everybody.
And
to
there's a
be
big difference, let me tell you, where you remove people from your life for certain
Yes.
reasons than
Right.
losing people. Because there's people that will,
Right.
to be honest, it's more like they lost you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it ends up like, oh, you have nobody. Well, I'd much rather have
I'd
nobody
rather have
than surrounded by
nobody. Right.
toxicity. You know, because I've
Right.
gotten rid of people in my life too. I've got my oldest
Yeah.
sister is out of my life right now because
Mine
she
too.
did me dirty, you know? She did me dirty.
Done deal, you know. Me and my sister, we go through so many periods of just not talking, and you know, essentially it's just better that way at that time, you know, for some situations. And so no, I didn't lose anybody. The way she's making it out to be is just saying like you don't have anybody.
Yeah,
That's
she's
it.
just trying to throw it in your face,
But I
you know?
do. I have, you know, my close friends that I do have been my friends since, you know, high school. I have a lot of really close friends, but the fact that those last how many years this has been my person.
Yeah,
You know, so
exactly.
you're so used to going to this one person, and then this one person is like, wait, hold on, like I can't handle you anymore. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like you anymore. You know, all this stuff. Like that, you know, it's a big difference.
Her daughter and her mom. So, and there's more. I mean, she was drinking and driving. She got pulled over. Her daughter was like a child, was like my child.
So you got arrested for drinking and driving?
No, I've
No.
never gotten a DUI. I've never.
So she's just
No.
making shit up here.
Yes. So what happened? I was at a Chevy's out here in the Bay Area. I had a couple margaritas. Me and my sister just got into a huge fight. She got out of my car nearly on the freeway like it was bad. So I went and I continued my journey to go have a Chevy's margarita. I had a couple, I'm, you know, drinking a while, whatever, spacing it out. I sat there for a while, and then it was time to leave. So I go and I sit in my car for like an hour and a half. I just FaceTime my friends, whatever. I leave when I feel fine, and I'm driving on the freeway. And if you know Bay Area, you know, you just kind of gotta go to the freeways. Well, I'm not familiar with that area. I wasn't familiar with that area at that time at all.
Right.
And it just so happened I didn't need to go this way on the freeway. I had to go that way on the freeway, like to the split. So I was going that way, but really I needed to go that way. So then I just like took like a stupid like cut back over. No one's on the road, you know, it's like the middle of the night. No one's on the roads. And it just so happened. It was a sheriff that I turned into the lane to. I turned into the lane of a freaking sheriff, and he was in my blind spot. And so then he pulls me over, obviously, because he's like, well,
right.
Why are you just cut me off? He pulls me over. We're in Oakland. I just stopped my car, and I just like profusely, I'm just like crying. And he comes to my dad's, you know, police and like all this stuff, but like I'm in Oakland. I'm not even home, you know. I roll down my window and I'm just like crying. I'm just like crying and crying. And he's, you know, asked me if I had drank, and I said, I drank like 2 hours ago. I'm not drunk, like all this stuff. But I was so upset And I told him, I was like, he was asking me questions, and I was like, honestly, just breathalyze me. Just breathalyze me. Take me where you need to take me. Just get it over with. Like, I'm done.
Right.
Like, whatever. You know, knowing that I did not feel drunk. Not at all, period. I sat in my car for a while.
Right.
And he did the breathalyzer, and I wasn't drunk at all. So I left. So that's what she's talking about.
So yes, yeah. So you weren't arrested. You were just pulled over, and then
I was pulled over.
And then you waited.
Not
Sounds like you were being responsible.
And she says that I had a DUI and all this stuff. No DUIs, no nothing.
You know, JessFams, she'll dramatize anything, right?
DUI. Come on. Get out of here. She also said that I was drinking and driving, and I will definitely like own up to my stuff, because her houses, the 3 houses she's lived at, have all been within like 5 minutes of my house. And I'm very guilty of leaving her house after drinking and going down the back roads. And, you know, I didn't deal with my child in the car.
Right.
You know, none of that. My mom would come pick my daughter up anytime I would get drunk. My daughter would get a ride home. No one stopped me. They, you know, bye. Drive safe. Don't get in an accident. You didn't stop me. So you didn't care. It's not that big of a deal. We're just going to bring it up later. So, you know, if they were concerned, they really should have like brought it up to me, but not, you know, hold it against me later when, you know, you all gladly let me leave. And, you know,
if supervision got out of control to the point where I didn't want my daughter around that. And I think anyone on TikTok knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, her daughter's with her mom, and she'll just visit occasionally. I knew something fishy was going on.
Your mom had your daughter and you would come and visit?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you went and you were just getting your shit together, is basically right? The way Jess made it seem, it's just like another, you know, knife to the gut, you know, paint you off to be like a bad mother. Although, you know, it's just imagine how hard that is to leave your child. You know what I mean? Again, people make mistakes and they do make decisions and they have to fix them. And, you know, sometimes having that extra responsibility does get in the way. And
I suffered greatly with my mental health that I didn't really honestly realize that I was dealing with. I really didn't. I didn't realize I was so depressed and all this stuff. Moving my child, you know, an hour and a half away when I was only going to be here for, you know, 3 months was just not realistic at all. And then, you know, just what do you do when you get these great career opportunities? Like, you know, I didn't lose her, and I talked to her often about everything, you know, but it's just, it's too much. Like, she knows what I did. She never had concern about it, never showed concern. She wanted me to move to Elk Grove, but I was like, well, I can't afford to like live, you know, because the job that I had prior to this one, the pay was, you know, 10 times less. Like,
Jess is like, why don't you just have the money? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. And I was always struggling because, you know, I was a CNA making what, $16 an hour. And then I was a nurse, and I was only making $27 an hour. And I'm like,
shit, dude, imagine now with inflation and gas and everything. It's crazy out here.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a car, so it's fine. We don't pay
still
for
the
gas
inflation
here.
You know?
There's still damn inflation, yo.
Yeah, there's still inflation. It's crazy.
I didn't want to say it, but I think it needs to be said. Yeah, multiple car accidents. I mean, there was
multiple car accidents. What's up with that?
Multiple car accidents.
Is that legit?
No, I totaled my car because I was in road rage. And
well, what she's making it seem like just got done talking about the drinking and driving thing and being arrested and stuff. So when she's saying this, she's making it seem like you're getting into accidents because you were drinking and driving.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's what she's implying.
Very incorrect. I was leaving work for all of my freaking accidents, literally. It was 1 car accident, then I was in 3 scooter accidents, and then I was in another car accident, and all of them, none of them were under the influence of anything. It was just me trying to get to where I had to go and I just don't have patience, honestly. And I will sit here and admit it, and I'm paying severe consequences for all of those just because I wasn't patient. That's it.
Yeah, well, hey man, if you're learning and you're growing and you're paying your dues,
Trying.
then that's what it is. But you know, again, people make mistakes, and we're human, right, Jess?
A lot, and I don't. Yeah, the TikToks. That's what I'm saying. If you know, you know. And it was sad, and it was
The TikToks, I think she means the ones that were like the high school ones. I think she was saying like how adults were being high schoolers, or how this isn't high school anymore, something like that.
I think she's referencing my daughter's TikToks here. Do you think?
I don't know. That's all she really says.
really hard for me, and she had a lot going on in her life, but I did too.
I did too, guys. I did too. Remember,
right, with the COVID loss too. I lost 3 people. You know, I lost 3 people. I think the TikToks that she's referring to my daughter's TikTok. My daughter's just like more mature than her children because she babysits
your daughter's
children.
probably more mature than Jess herself.
My daughter's so mature, like it's crazy. She's, you know, whatever. And so she's just always been like on TikTok and stuff. And truthfully, I didn't realize the bad and, you know, all this. I don't realize this stuff until you go and like, you know, watch videos about it. So
Right. Well,
I think
yeah, exactly.
she just didn't like the way my daughter would dress, or my daughter would have bad words, or, you know, this, that, or the other. And I'm like, this is like, you know, it's not a big deal to me. You know, it's really just not a big deal. Now, if my child was coming upon, you know, bad things and stuff like that, you know, that's one thing. But since then, I made Alina have her stuff private, just with her friends, because I'm like, you know, she's just not a child that plays with toys and like this. She's a creative. She's a Gemini. She's such a creative person, and
we have that in
I'm
common.
not
I'm
gonna take
creative,
that
and I'm a
from
Gemini
her.
too.
You know, and I would see things that she would post that's not really age appropriate. I would tell her, but it's really just not that big of a deal. My child just has more life experience than her children have. Her kids don't even know what a cigarette is, and I'm like, you should probably
Oh
tell
God,
them.
exactly. You should tell them. That way, when it comes upon them in life, because it's going to happen, they know what to do. Don't they have
everywhere.
designated smoking areas in Disney? You know, like
They did. Not anymore. They did though. That's my interpretation, is she was just talking about my daughter's TikToks, and I'm
okay.
just like,